Hi y'all, Justin with Kayak Catfish. I'm on the water right here at First Light, going after some big cats today, y'all. We got the full moon going down to my left. We got the sun trying to start to peek up over there on the right. It's gonna be a beautiful day. It's gonna be an awesome day. Let's go get them, y'all. Got our first fish just like that. Oh, come on now. Let me have that thing. Yo, fish. He hit it and then he wouldn't hardly let me get it out the rod hold. Y'all just admire that sunrise over there as I reel this thing in. That sunrise is prettier than any old catfish we'll reel up. This one here's got a bad attitude for first thing in the morning. He needs to go wake up on the right side of the bed. He's kind of fighting funny. He hit that bait. It's weird. I wonder if he didn't foul hook himself or something. He might have. I got these two baits up front of the kayak suspended, so I got my circle hook and then I've got a stinger hook under that on the fly there. I wonder if this thing didn't roll into one of them and foul hook himself, and we'll see here in a second. He's either going to be a good fish or he's foul hooked, one of the two. Either way, I'll sit here enjoying some cookies watching this sunrise, and he's interrupted it, and I'm going to tell him about it. Now, that's a good fish. He's hooked in the mouth. He was just that was a weird feeling fight. You weird fish, but I'm happy to see you anyway. Come up here, fish. Now, come on now. You come. Oh, don't fling water all over me, you old thing. My gosh, it's too early for that. Now he's going to flop around on the floor like a daggone, I don't know what. You out of control, fish. It is too early for this nonsense. Well, let's hold that thing up right there, y'all. That's a pretty good fish for fish number one, ain't it? I'm happy with that. He just fought funny. I didn't know if he was foul hooked or if it was actually a good fish. It was just a weird fight, but turned out to be a pretty good fish, so I'll take it, man. Well, what do you say you go back home down there, Blue Kitty, and I'm gonna drop another bait down. He says he thinks that's a great idea. I do too. I'm full of good ideas, fish. Don't you ever forget it. But yeah, y'all, that one there ate suspended bait. I've got two baits off the front here suspended. I got two baits off the back that have they're cast out. They're just sitting on bottom right now. So I'm gonna put I'll probably put a piece of skipjack on this rod. I've got skipjack, I've got white bass, and I've got bluegill with me today. So we got a combination. Anything these fish want, we got an option for them there. So right now I'm sitting in 62 feet of water. I'm kind of at the top edge of a hole. There's a hole here to my left that drops off, gets super deep. It's like 90 feet deep. And so I'm up on top of that, again, 62 feet. And my plan right now is to at least start out the morning sitting here on kind of around this hole, see if there's any fish that come up out of it. Going to feed right in here. If we're getting bit, I'm cool with staying here all morning long. If not, we're going to get on the move, start making my way back up river here and just working the main channel ledge, doing some trolling. I'll suspend, I'll drag as we make our way up. We'll give this spot a little time, see what happens. I'll take another piece of skipjack. We'll cut it up. I'm going to trim that old fin off right there. That ain't going to serve no purpose, but to possibly foul up a hook set. My old dull scissors there, I've seen better days, but we'll run this hook through. That's on my Carolina rig with a stinger fly under it there. That's a Catfish Sumo bait stalker fly. And we're just going to drop that straight down, raise it up a couple feet off the bottom there, so it'll be about 59, 60 feet deep. I'm going to finish eating my cookies and watch that sun pop up. This back rod, oh man, it's getting pulled under me here. This is one, oh man, he's up there in my front line. Doggone it, why do you have to do that? Why do you have to do that? Went the wrong dang direction. I had this thing cast out behind me. This is a bait just sitting on bottom. I still got these dragging rigs tied on, and lately I've just been fishing with them. A couple trips ago we had some current flow. Now today out here this morning we don't have any current, so these things are just kind of sitting on bottom as I'm spot locked here, and this fish is, boy, he's all up in that line. I hope he feels bad about this. Y'all need to give him a stern talking to. He ain't gonna listen to me. These catfish, they ain't got no respect for me. None whatsoever. Okay. He got all up in that front line, but I'm gonna let it slide this time just because I'm happy to get another bite, even though he ain't happy about it. Lordy days, fish. Well, he ain't really front camera worthy, but we'll turn him in the light at least. So he got in that front line, but didn't make too big a mess of it. He did throw the bait off though, so could have done without that, couldn't we, fish? He said he was getting a free meal out of this. He says if I'm making a penny or two off of him by putting him on video, he's at least getting a free meal. I can't fault him for that. Well, I'll put another piece of skipjack on that rod there. I think that's what I had on that. These fish, it'd be nice if they'd leave a bait on so I could remember what I had on there when I got out here. It was still early this morning when I dropped these lines down. Y'all had to cut me a little slack on it. Too early to be remembering stuff. Oh, I think something's got this rod right here too. Something's got it. Yep, he's got it. That's on a head bait right there. That's on a skipjack head. I remember that because I knew I had my head baits on these left side over here. I just looked back and that one was just kind of, it wasn't acting right. That rod was just, it's a little bit of weight on there. I don't know what we got here. I hope it's a flathead's what I'm hoping for. I was hoping to get a couple of them today. Who knows if we will or not. Apparently we're going to get another tangle because he's in this front line here. Come at these fish, man. They got their eyes set on getting my lines tangled, don't they? It is a flathead though. It is a flatty. We got us one. Boy, he's all tangled up in it. I'm gonna bring this fish in. Boy, he's got line. Look at that. He's got line wrapped all around his head. He at least left us the bait on though. That was nice of him. He's the first one to do that this morning, so. Well, let's hold that fella up there. Man, I was hoping to get a hold of some of these today. I've been getting some big flatheads on some recent trips, and I was hoping to get another one today. And this one here ain't going to quite measure up, but he'll get there someday. That's a good start, man. That's 3 fish here pretty quick as that sun come up. I got out here, you know, a little before dawn and had lines in, and just wasn't nothing happening. And then that sun peaks up over the horizon, and man, the bite turned on. All right. Well, we're gonna let this one go. I'm gonna have to untangle some lines. Man, these fish, they got it in for me today, but at least he left us a bait on there, so we'll drop it back down. Let's let you go over here in the light, you old flatty. How you going? So it's time, well, it's past time actually for us to get on the move. We got that flurry of activity there right after sunrise, the 2 blues, flathead, and then since then I have sat here way too long, over an hour now, just waiting on some more fish to kind of work out of that hole or down into this hole, and my baits be right there in their face, but nothing's happening. No taps at my baits. I'm not seeing anything on the graph, so I'm gonna reel everything up, refresh all my baits, and then I'm gonna start working up this ledge, just kind of trolling half a mile an hour or so. I'll keep the same rigs and setup. We'll suspend 2 off the front, we'll drag 2 off the back, and we'll discover some water and see if we can't run into some active fish. Here's a nice takedown. Here's a nice takedown. That's the head bait dragging behind us. I put a fresh skipjack head when I got on the move, and I ain't went far. I've been at this maybe 2 or 3 minutes here. We got on the move, so just trying to run into some fish. Was sitting there at the top of that hole, just wasn't getting it done anymore. I had kind of thought we might be able to sit there all morning with the activity we got there as the sun come up, but just wasn't going to be the case. I think we just had kind of a flurry of activity there. Maybe some fish got active, come out of that hole, and our baits is the first one they come to, but since then nothing. So we're going to cover some water and apparently going to reel in a much smaller fish than what I had on. Oh, he just come free too. I hurt that fish's feelings when I said that he wasn't as big as I thought, so he said, you can have your bait back, you can keep your video, I'm getting out of here, he said. That fish said he'll show me. We're going to rehook that bait. You can see it's still perfect condition. That's a brand new head right there. So I'm just going to give it a little toss here behind me. I'm not running these. Well, that was a terrible cast. Done got backlash first thing. But I ain't running these rigs very far behind me. There's a light breeze out here right now, but it's barely noticeable. So there's not any chop on the water. I'm fishing early morning weekday, so we don't have any boat traffic, any boat wake. So pretty calm conditions right now. And so I don't need to run these rigs very far behind me to keep everything kind of going smooth there along the bottom. So we'll let that out sublime. If I get my words out there, we'll let that sinker get down there, hit bottom, and just going to keep on the move. Just like I said, just covering water half a mile an hour or so, just going to work up this ledge, and somewhere along the way we're going to run into some more fish. I promise you that. Got something on this back bait again, that head bait. I think he's got it. Yeah, I know he's got it. My gosh, we'll crank down on him. Well, they liking that head bait. That's two of them now that's hit it since we got on the move. Had that flathead eat the head bait. Whatever they want, buddy, I got them covered today. I got skipjack and white bass out right now. I do have some bluegill in my cooler there. I kept a few just for variety. Probably try them out at some point this morning. But right now, skipjack head is what's getting it done. And that is my favorite bait by far. What is that right there? I see a fish right there, but that's not the one I'm reeling in. I wonder if I got on camera. There was some fish up there near the surface. I don't know what it was. It was 2 or 3 pounds, whatever it was. Didn't look like a cat. Might have been a drum or something, or a big shad. Well, they're getting pretty close on this one now. Come on up here, fish. Show yourself. Yeah, it's another big blue. He's choked that bait too, man. Look at that thing. He's going to choke himself to death. Come on in, kitty. Come on in now. Well, at least in all that flinging around he just done, he didn't throw our bait off. We're going to toss it back out here in just a second. Boy, he's a skinny old thing. I ought to give him that bait. I ain't going to, though. This ain't Sally Struthers right here. We ain't feeding the starving children. I guess I'm going to have to go right through the middle of that right there. Mouth is tore up. You can see the bait is still really good shape. I mean, it's still bleeding and everything there. So I'm going to just toss it back out. We're going to keep on the move. I think we got some action. We got something happening here with this rod, and I think he's got it. Let's pick up on it. The back end of my kayak's getting spun around here, y'all. The wind has started to pick up a little bit. And in addition to that, the current, TVA has turned on the current flow. So we got current moving this way and the wind moving this way. So I'm having a hard time right now. I was just sitting here contemplating my next move, what I want to do, because if I keep my speed at this point going like a half mile an hour using the motor, the current is bringing my suspended baits way up in the water column because I'm going against the current. If I slow down going this way, then the wind is blowing the back end of my kayak around. It's hard for me to keep everything going in the direction I want to go with my line. So I'm kind of in a conundrum here. Mother Nature and TVA need to get on the same page. They need to be coordinating with each other. But either way, we catching some fish, and we getting a lot more of them since we got on the move. Sitting down there where we was at just wasn't getting it done, but now that we started covering water, this is fish number 3 here. This one ate one of the skipjack chunks. You ain't front camera worthy, Blue Cat, but I'll at least hold you out there in the light. You're welcome. That'll get you an extra. That'll get you an extra MySpace friend right there. Them catfish still on MySpace. They ain't got Instagram like us civilized people. But yeah, y'all, the wind, even right now, you know, one time I was fighting that fish, the wind has got me all sideways here to the direction I'm going. So I think what I'm going to do, since most of these fish, especially since we got on the move, they're coming on the dragging rigs, nothing's even touched my suspended baits. I think what I'm going to do is just reel up my suspended lines, and we're just going to fish with 2 rods going off the back. We'll drag, and that way I can keep myself going the speed I want to go and keep everything, the kayak position like I need to. It'd be a whole lot easier if we just eliminate these front rods and hopefully help us catch some more fish up here too. I fished this area on my last catfishing trip a few days ago. My regular viewers should have saw that video by now. But that trip got bunch of catfish, got some really good quality, and got most of them on the move. I'd started out at that same hole and didn't get anything sitting down there that day, but once I got on the move, I started catching a lot of fish, getting some good quality, and most of them came on the dragging rigs that day too. Versus I did catch some on suspended baits, but the better quality and most of the fish came on the dragging. So that's what we're going to focus on here for the next little while. Since we're going to go down to just fishing 2 rods, I'm going to get everything good and fresh here. So I gotta put on another chunk anyway, since that fish stole our last one. And we'll just go ahead and switch our head bait out too. That way we got 2 pieces of super fresh bait. Them skipjack there was caught yesterday, so they're really good condition, really good shape. I'm going to leave the gut pocket intact on the chunk. I'm just going to trim them fins, and we'll drag them 2 baits and see what we hook into. Okay, I think, oh, did he drop it? No, he still got it. He still got it on there. He tried to trick me, didn't he? Now he's going to the left. It's been a little while, man. This wind, I'm running both rods dragging off the left side of the kayak because the wind just keeps picking up. Wind Finder, the app, it's supposed to track the wind speeds. It says 3 miles an hour right now. I said 3 miles an hour. Kiss my pearly white pimple covered hind end, because this, no way it's been 3 miles an hour, especially when it's gusting. Well, I'm just using it to push me along here. It's just I've had a hard time controlling the speed of the kayak and the direction of it, so we kind of just going with it at this point. We improvising. And we got us a fish that has found my other line over there too. Dog, man, these fish have been all up in the tangles today, ain't they? They have. There, okay, now we got him out of it. That one wasn't too bad. That one got in it at the very end right there. That's another small though, but it's the one on the head bait. That head bait has been popular today. They have showed a definite preference to the head. We're taking that head back too, fish. Tough break for you. You have to find you a free meal somewhere. We can see they've chewed it up a little bit. Yeah, I may go ahead and switch that out anyway. That's looking kind of rough right there. We'll put a fresh one on. But yeah, y'all, the wind, man, wasn't calling for it on the Wind Finder app. It ain't showing it on there, but by gosh, it's happening. So we going with it. The better play really would be for me to be going into the wind and with the current. That would be the better play. But in my situation out here this morning, I made a long run from the launch upstream to get where I started at, and so I don't want to fish farther on downstream. I don't want to work my way down and then have to make my way all the way back to the launch. And I also too didn't want to reel everything up, make a run back upstream, fish my way down, and then have to reel up and go back again to the launch. It just cuts into too much time. It's just not efficient, you know. I mean, if I was in a boat and had an outboard and could quickly get back upstream and fish my way back down, sure, I'd do it. But this is one of them compromises you got to make in a kayak. And so we going with it, y'all. We fishing where we at, we making it work. And so we using this wind. Like right now, I'm moving to like 0.4, 54 feet deep here where I'm at, and it's blowing directly upstream right against the current. So we're just using it to move along here, and when it gusts, it's pushing me between like 0.6 and 1 mile an hour, depending on how hard it's blowing, but pretty consistently moving me 0.4, 0.5. So that's an ideal speed. I have let out more line because it's gotten a little choppy anytime the wind blows against the current, you're going to have a little bit more chop. And so I've let out more line to kind of compensate for that, so that my baits aren't all herky-jerky down there. I want them going kind of smooth along the bottom, not bouncing around every which way. So yeah, so anyway, enough flap my guns. We got to get another head bait back down there, because that's all these fish want to eat today. I think our back rod here, yeah, we got another one on. Got one on the chunk. So I was letting out some line here on my head bait. We just run into another patch of them. Not getting the quality right now that I was getting my last trip out. Well, I pulled a couple of really good sized fish. Basically working the same area, just dragging baits. Now, we didn't have the wind that day, and we didn't have any current at all that day. So conditions are a little different, but same general area. So I know there's some fish here, and this one's smaller than the last one. He's done flung that bait off. These fish today, buddy, they've had it in for me. It's a good thing I got plenty of bait. He just unhooked himself. Look at that. That fish has got a good woman in his life. She's trained him well. Oh, that looks a little better right there now. That looks like a little better takedown on the fresh chunk. All right, let's reel another one in, y'all. I come out here to reel in some fish today. I don't know about y'all. I like spending a little time on the water, but it's always more enjoyable when you're reeling in fish. I think this will at least be better than the last one. He's wanting to stay down there, Nutty. He's caught up with me here, and he says he ain't coming up here to this kayak. He's got better stuff to do today. Probably got to wash his clothes or take out the trash or something. Look at him go now, man. Look at him go now. I knew that one was a little bigger now. I didn't know he was going to fight like that. Man, he just got a lot bigger. Dang. I didn't see that coming. This fish just got a lot bigger. Man, he must have just been swimming along with me or something, or else something even bigger just ate him down there. my longtime viewers, y'all know that happens. I had a catfish one time. I got it on video. He's probably 3 or 4 pounds. He had marks all over. I thought I was reeling in a dang monster. I got it up at the kayak, and all of a sudden it just let go, and I've got this small fish there. Never saw what ate him, but he had marks all over him where he had gotten eaten as I was reeling him in. It happens. I had a trip recently where I was ultralight fishing, had a bass get after 2 bluegill. It ate them, but it didn't. Unfortunately, didn't stay wedged in its mouth for me to land the bass. Goodness, man, he's pulling now, though. This is definitely a better quality fish right here. Still don't know what it is. Okay, there it is. There it is. I see it's a blue. It's a blue. He's got my hook there. He just got bigger all of a sudden. He must have been pacing me as I was reeling him in. I knew he felt bigger, but I didn't know he was that big until he just decided to take off on me. What a nice surprise. This right here is more like it, y'all. This is what I was hoping to get out here today. Come on in, Blue Kitty. Definitely the biggest one of the trip so far. Let's hold that bruiser right there up. Nice, man. Nice fish. This is a lot better quality right here. Definitely the biggest one of the trip so far. 52 feet of water. Ate that chunk of skipjack. Just dragging along bottom. Still just running the 2 rods here and paying off, man. We're getting some action. Nice. There's just, I mean, I knew it was a better fish when I was reeling him in. I had no idea until he took off that it was this quality. All right, let's let him go. Throw another bait out. What do you think, Blue Kitty? You want to go off on that side? He said he'll go off whatever side I want just to get out of here. That fish don't give a crap, man. He's ready to go. All right, y'all. I think we got one fist pump worthy there. Definitely front camera worthy, if nothing else. Let's put us another piece of skipjack on, man. We're sticking with the skipjack right now. Both rods have a piece on the head and then a chunk. I'd like to work that bluegill in or put a some more white bass on, but with me only running 2 rods right now, I'm gonna stick with my confidence baits, which this time of year definitely skipjack for sure. So we'll put this bait on here. That's a 10-aught size circle hook. I don't think I showed my dragon rigs earlier, so I'll show you now. But that's on an 80-pound leader. I got a float and a rattle a few inches above that. A little bit further up my line, I got a 3-way swivel. Got my dragon sinkers. You want to learn how to make these, there's a link down the video description to a how-to manual. Very simple, cheap, easy to do. They work great out here on the Tennessee River. Rarely get snags, so that's our rig. I'm gonna drop it down, let this wind push us along, and yeah, y'all, the business just picked up, by gosh. This morning just got a whole lot better. I had one hit that rod. I think he may have it too, by gosh. He does. Let's get him. He hit it, but he didn't bury it. Ain't no fooling me though, we got him. Don't take Perry Mason detective skills to know there's a little weight on there. He still had that thing. I went a little while here with nothing going on. So we just keep making our way up through here, covering water. There's enough fish in this section of the river right now that we just cover enough distance, you're going to run into them. They're active and aggressive, and this one here, he couldn't resist that piece of skipjack. Come on over here, fish. Show yourself. Oh, Lord. Here I was going to do something nice for this fish. Get him a little camera time, and he's going to act that way. Get me soaking wet. Probably got y'all soaking wet too. That hook's going right through the bottom lip there. I got to be careful with that thing. I ain't trying to wear no hook today, fish. There you go. You getting released like that. I ain't playing games and the hook's going through the bottom lip like that. That's a sure way to get a hook in the finger. Alright, get another bait. Just for doo-doos and giggles, I'm going to put us on a bluegill on this rod instead of another chunk of skipjack. I just kind of want to see what it'll do. So I cut the tail off of it, put some slits in it there, get it leaching out some of that blood and oils. And we'll stick it back in the rod holder and let it take out some line. Since I kind of starting to round the bend here a little bit on the river. What have I got on my, that's on my hat. That's dang, did you see that? I had dang catfish slime hanging off my hat there. Lord almighty, we're in bad shape. But since I'm kind of starting to round the bend here on the river, the wind ain't hitting me as bad, or it's shifted one, but either way, the direction it's going, this wind ain't been my friend today. But I've got myself trolling. I'm using the motor now to supplement. I've got my rods back up here up front. So we pulling along here, but at least with the direction it's going and the speed it's going here, for whatever reason, I'm able to better control myself now. So hopefully that's going to help our cause. But it's getting later in the morning. I'm running out of time, so we ain't got a lot of time left. But I do want to just try one of them bluegill on over there and see what they'll do for us. Oh boy, that one's pulling. That one's pulling. Oh man, that fish bit at the wrong time. We got a daggone pontoon boat going by here. Got about 25 people on it. They all gonna know where fish are biting at. That feels good though. That feels real good. Y'all wave at them people in the pontoon boat for me. They getting a show over here. They got partying to do probably. They probably got one of them inner tube things. They're gonna go somewhere and pull behind it. They ain't an open seat on that pontoon boat though. That's the place to be, buddy. I didn't get an invite, but apparently everybody else in this county did. They couldn't fit another person on there if they wanted to. They'd be sitting in each other's laps. Who would have thought? But by gosh, weekday morning, there's a brunch going on somewhere. This fish just got him some brunch. I ain't never been much on brunch or brunch eaters. The type of people that eat brunch, usually, the snooty kind. Probably like them people on the pontoon boat that not a single one of them wave at me. I couldn't have waved at them because my hands are full, but it wouldn't have hurt them to throw up a hand. But they on their way to get them some French toast or something. This fish right here, he said he didn't want no toast, but he'd have him some skipjack. Still got our bluegill pulling along, nothing happening on it. Oh Lord, he done got me sopping wet that time. It got down in my boots. I wore my boots this morning because it was a little chilly. He just got water all down them. Daggone fish. That's a solid one though, man. That's a good quality. I'm happy with that. Okay, come on in, fish. Man, this is a solid fish right here, buddy. The gut on that thing. This fish here, he done got my socks wet, y'all. I think today's the first time I've wore socks in, I don't know, 2 or 3 months probably. He done got them sopping wet. They'll be stinking like all nothing else, fish. They'll be stinking as bad as my cooler, my bait cooler there before I get home. That's a good fish though, man. That's a solid, healthy fish. Nice. All right, I'm gonna let it go. We're gonna keep moving along here just a little while longer. Get on out here, fish. There you go. All right, I'm gonna drop that other bait down. We still got our bluegill going on this side. I don't have much longer to fish. I got some stuff I gotta do this afternoon, but we're gonna keep going along here. Going down to 2 rods ain't really affected much. Still getting bit, you know. Who knows if I'd been able to, you know, continue going with 4 rods, we might have got some more fish. But I'm pretty happy with how the day's gone, from getting that flathead and those other 2 blues to start the day, to getting the number of fish that I've gotten up through here, getting 2 good quality fish since we've been dragging along. I'm pretty happy with how it's gone today. So anyway, we'll get another bait on here. I think what I'll do is just call this the end of the video in case I get another, or I don't get another fish. That way I don't have to spend any extra time, because I want to spend as much time as I possibly can on the water today. But I do got those plans I got to get to. So anyway, if y'all see another fish, it's a bonus fish. If not, I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.